Welcome to Coach Des Talks presents Woman Up Girl Conversations. I am Desiree Fleming, also known as Lady Coach Des. And I'm excited to share in conversations with you, as well as these amazing women we're going to be talking from teen to menopause. And so I would love to introduce to you today Karen Jones and Prophetess Coach Toya Garner.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for being here. So would you share a little bit about yourself, Karen, with our audience?
Well, my name is Karen Jones, and I'm a registered nurse by trade. And so what I have started to do is I wanted to start a not-for-profit called Have a Heart Solutions, which will mentor to young girls or men in nursing school to become nurses. So that's a little bit about what I do.
I love it. And what about you, Prophetess Coach Toya?
Thanks again for having me.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I'm Prophetess Toya Garner. I am an author and a coach, and I'm also an executive director for Women That Sparkle. It is an organization where we acknowledge and celebrate the accomplishments and achievements of African American women.
Wow, that's amazing. So as you see, we have some amazing and powerful women joining us today. And so we're going to talk a lot about connecting others with their destiny today. And so I wanted to ask you, as you were saying, Karen, you do a mentorship non-for-profit organization, not just for women, but also for men. So what's so unique about what you do?
So I remember being a young African-American woman in nursing school. And when I was going through nursing school, it wasn't a lot of mentors. We just had our teachers, we went home, and we tried to study the best way we could. So as a part-time position, I started teaching nursing school. And so I listened to the students, and they said, you know, at the time I was Miss King, they was like, Miss King, we don't have anybody that can help us get through once we leave school. And so I thought about it. So I started coaching 2 young ladies from Aurora University, and I helped them get to their NCLEX, and now they're out there working in the field. And I have 2 more young ladies. One is about to enter nursing school, and one is currently in her first nursing class. So I just feel like they need to see people like us that are actually out there in the workforce. And if I can add my little 2 cents to it, then I do. And I love mentoring, I love giving back, and I love watching them graduate and come back and say thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. And Toya, regarding you connecting others to their next, what is it that you specifically focus on in connecting others to their next? And then we want to hear something about Sparkle.
Oh, okay, great. I've always had a heart to encourage people and to see people move forward in their life. So getting them to their next, I'm basically focusing on their purpose and destiny. You know, me and my husband, we have a ministry, and that's the premise of our ministry, is where we're helping people discover and identify and walk in their purpose and destiny. So the Facebook Live that I do every Friday is Getting You to Your Next, is where I'm talking about different topics that are going to help people, encourage them so that way they can move forward, on that week, move forward in that day, but mostly, get a hold of what their purpose is and be able to walk in that. And Women That Sparkle is, it sort of correlates with that. Women That Sparkle is an organization that, my husband, it was birthed, in him through celebrating his mom. His mother, she was a very a person that really got involved in the community. Wow. And she helped with the Woodlawn organization. She's also years ago, I think in the 70s, she helped to birth what we now know as adult daycare centers.
Wow.
And she came up with that idea.
Wow. And that's so needed.
She received an award for that from Mayor Belandic back in the 70s. But we felt like she didn't get the recognition that she should have. And through that, the Lord really put on his heart to begin to celebrate African American women, because they're not put in the forefront for the things that they've done. We have a lot of unsung sheroes. Very true. In our neighborhoods and in our communities that need to be celebrated. They need to be honored for the things that they're doing. They make a lot of sacrifices. Yeah. And they're doing things in the earth that needs to be recognized. So I'm so glad to be a part of that, because that, again, that correlates with our whole premise of what we're doing. We're getting people to their next. We're getting people, recognized for the things that they're doing and pushing people towards their purpose and destiny.
I love it. Pushing people toward their purpose and destiny. And you and Karen seem to be doing the same thing, but same vision, mission, but in a different way. And so, Karen, I was thinking, being a nurse requires having a heart. And so I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. She's a doctor, and we were talking about, and she's on this hiring team where they hire nurses to teach. And I said, oh, I have a friend that is a mentor. And she was saying, I was telling her how you really help younger people who aspire to be nurses to have a heart for it. Why is it so important to have a heart being a nurse today, especially?
Well, in order to be a nurse, first of all, you have to have a strong stomach and you have to have a heart. And that was the basis of my organization's name. You just have to have a caring spirit. Nurses, we endure a lot. It's a lot to deal with patients. They're sick, they're scared, they don't know what's happening to them. So they need someone that is not sympathetic, but empathetic. And someone who can understand and just listen. I mean, a lot of our job is listening. If we listen, then you'd be surprised what I can unfold just talking to a patient within like the first hour.
Wow.
I can pretty much figure out their whole history just listening to them. So that's why I named my organization Have a Heart. Because you have to have a heart to be in this profession. So how do you teach people to have a heart for this profession? Because I've been to doctor offices with nurses who just seem to be rude, just collecting a paycheck and just mean. Well, I've always one of my favorite teachers always told me that nursing will weed out the weak and those that don't deserve to be there. A lot of people got into this profession because of money and stability until they realized what it took to get there. There was a lot of days when I took work home. We know what's happening now in the pandemic. There's a high rate of suicide among nurses because they weren't seeing as many deaths. I mean, we would see a death randomly, but they're seeing death hour after hour after hour. And it's every day, 12, 14, 16 hours a day.
Jesus.
And so you really have to be compassionate about what you do. And so when I'm talking to these students and when I was teaching them, I could tell right up front, you're just not here to be a nurse. And I'm like, what is your true reason for being a nurse? Whenever I teach a new class, I always ask the students the first day, why do you want to become a nurse? And they say even it's because I've even taken care of a loved one, or it's just always been in me to be. And I can just tell who's going to make it through the program and probably who's not.
Wow.
So the healthcare field will weed you out. And unfortunately, there are some people who are book smart that got through the program, as you probably have experienced.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say, but you have to have a heart.
We need more Karens.
Yes.
We need more Karens.
In a good way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we need the good Karens.
Yes, the good Karens.
So we're going to take a quick break and come back, and we'll go to Prophetess Coach Garner. Hi, and welcome back. This is Lady Coach Des, and you are with Coach Des Talks presents Woman Up Girl Conversations, and we've been conversating with Karen Jones as well as Prophetess Coach Toya Garner. And so we're going to be talking to Toya. Could you share with us what specifically do you do with connecting people to their next?
Basically, what I do, I have a series of teachings that I do to help people, identify different things. I cover a lot of tough topics that I think a lot of people don't want to talk about.
Give us an example of a tough topic.
Okay, so a tough topic. I've been doing this series on God's code of conduct in the workplace. And basically, I'm talking about some things that, people are experiencing on a daily basis that even as believers, we need to know how to handle. We need to know how to handle toxic work environments.
Yeah,
we need to know how to handle psychopathic bosses.
Wow.
Different things like that, So I kind of, I go in and I talk about these things of how, as believers, how we are to conduct ourselves when we're faced with those types of people or in those type of environments. So I talk about obedience, being humble, walking in integrity. Okay,
obedience is a very strong word today. So obedience to who?
Obedience to your boss. Obedience to your boss.
Wow.
Sometimes we got bosses that we don't like, and they can do certain things that can rub us the wrong way. Yeah. And even do some unethical things. Yeah. And so as a believer, you have to be able to do your work as unto the Lord and know that and make stands when stands are needed for righteousness.
But what about the person that's out there listening to you right now, Toya, that is contemplating quitting their job because they just cannot get along with their supervisor?
Okay. Well, I want to talk to that person who, you may be experiencing some, a very, harsh supervisor, or you feel like, you want to give up and, you're just done with this thing. Well, first of all, I would say go to God and talk to the Lord about that. One of the things I do encourage on my broadcast is, spending time with the Lord. Bring Jesus to work with you. And that's so important. Don't leave Jesus at home. We have him on Sunday, and then when Monday comes, we want to leave him at the house.
Wow.
No, bring Jesus with you. Listen to the Holy Spirit. Spend time with God so that you can hear his voice. Because God will lead and guide you on things, on what you're to do, what to not to do. God will show you where the enemy's coming in so you'll know how to pray. Don't go to work unequipped. Go to work equipped with the tools that you need to be successful on that job. That's prayer. That may be warfare, spiritual warfare, because our fight is not against flesh and blood. You may have a boss or a co-worker that's, just mean, harassing, a bully. You got to look beyond that. That's a spiritual thing that's going on. So you got to know your enemy. It's not the person, it's the spirit behind the person. You need to know how to hear from God, so that way when you're at work and you're faced with these things, God will tell you how to move in and out with people.
Wow.
How to engage with the people that you're working with.
Let me ask you this. Do you coach employees?
I will be coaching employees. I haven't coached employees as of yet, but I will be coaching employees. Okay. And right now I am coaching virtually with employees. So people, that do come on my broadcast, they are working people. So they are being coached, virtually, one-on-one, face-to-face, not as of yet. Okay. But I am getting them virtually. I do get questions asked and people, wanting help on how to deal with certain situations.
Do you have a website?
Yes.
Okay.
My website is www.toyagarner.com, and Toya Garner, that's TOYAGARNER, no D. So, because people throw the D. So Toya Garner, TOYAGARNER.com.
And you have a YouTube channel.
Yes, I'm so excited. You guys got to subscribe to my YouTube channel.
I subscribed last night.
Yay. So my YouTube channel is called Getting You to Your Next. So just, put that in. Come on and subscribe. Click the bell so that way you can get the alerts when I come on. I'm coming on Facebook Live every Friday in the evening. So when you get that alert, come on so you can hear the next topic.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with our audience. And I want to ask you, Karen, can you share with people who are considering becoming nurses but feel, or some of them may be considering stopping school because they don't feel they have the support they need? What could you share with them, and share some, if you have your website or information on how they can contact you?
Well, I would start off by saying don't quit. I tried. My teacher told me no. Her favorite word was dig. So when I thought about digging, I'm like, in order to get to where you have to get to be, it's not going to be easy. And so to become a nurse is not easy. So I tell any student or anyone aspiring to become a nurse, stick with it. There is help. I'm available for you. There are many other tutoring platforms out there that can assist you. I'm on Facebook right now. I'm working on my website right now, and so it's in progress. But right now, I'm at Have a Heart Solutions on Facebook.
Awesome. Have a Heart Solutions. I love it. That's amazing. And it takes a person that has a heart, and you're very kind. I think your kindness is what patients are probably experiencing on a daily basis. And that's what they're interacting with you when they're interacting with you. And I think that is important. Like my mom is regularly seen by nurses, and I'm always making sure that they're good to my mom, because, you know, people need people who have a heart for them to, you know, work with them. And I'm just so thankful how God has blessed you all to connect others to their next. And Sparkle, does Sparkle have a website?
Yes, we do. You can go to sparklebroadcasting.com. Sparklebroadcasting.com. I love it. So I wanted to ask you all a few more questions, and I wanted to ask, what made you want to be a nurse, Karen?
Wow, that's a good question. So my mom would tell anybody, I used to be scared of sick people growing up. Whenever someone was sick, I would get upset, I would cry, I would go in another room. And so it was my godmother who I used to see going to work every day with these colorful scrubs and this stethoscope, which I didn't know what it was. And I used to ask her, what is it that she did? And she went to explain it to me. And then as I grew up, I just wanted to care for people. I had a caring heart. And so I started my career as a nursing assistant and worked my way up through nursing. So I would have to attribute it to my godmother, who I saw as an example going to work every day.
Wow. And did you see her show compassion?
Yes. She was a psych nurse. So I think in the psych industry, she was a psych nurse for 31 years. Wow. So I think to deal with psych patients, you really have to have compassion.
You do.
And understanding. And so she stayed with it. She loved her profession, and that was motivating to me.
I love it. And Toya, what pushed you to start getting to your next? Especially for Christians employees.
I believe just some of the things that I've experienced in the workplace and learning some valuable lessons that the Lord showed me. Just giving a quick testimony. Let me just tell you this. I have written a book. I wrote a book in relation to Christians being in the workplace. I have a new book coming out called How to Walk in the Favor of God in the Workplace. And so basically this book, I explained the importance of, like I was saying before, bringing Jesus to work with you. And I've learned how to incorporate Jesus on my job with me. It was one particular job that I had many years ago, where I just came in just pulling invoices. And from there, I would, when I would go to work, I would pray and I would ask the Holy Spirit to give me wisdom and give me insight and ideas as I'm working. And I was a temp at the time. And the Lord had really blessed me to, as I was listening to the voice of the Holy Spirit and what to do and how to do things as I was working in that particular position, I was promoted to team lead. Then I was promoted to something else.
Wow, from a temp position.
But now mind you, I'm still a temp.
Oh, wow.
But I was being promoted.
Wow.
But this was the help of the Holy Spirit by taking time to acknowledge Him and to be able to talk to the Holy Spirit to give me ideas on how to fix and do certain things of what I'm doing, how to do my job better. And from there, I was able to get a position within the company where I was not doing some of the same thing I'm doing. It was a totally different department. And this is a testimony that I put in the book where I got the job, I got this new position, getting ready to start this. I'm no longer pulling invoices, so I'm doing more work. And the person that was supposed to train me, she was so excited because she got a promotion. So I got a 10-minute training. A 10-minute training. And she was out of there. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, Lord, I don't know what to do. She didn't leave me anything. She was like, you do this, 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 and this, and this. And all right, I'll see you later. I'm gone. So she was gone upstairs with all the executives and everybody. I was like, well, thanks.
Wow.
You know. So I remember sitting at my desk and I put my head down. I was like, Holy Spirit, I need you to help me. Show me what to do. Because this girl just left me. And
10-minute training.
10-minute training. And the Lord just started leading me he said, go through her desk. So I went through her desk. I found all her notes.
Wow.
I found all her notes. I read the notes. Then the Lord was giving me, insight on what to do with those notes. And then I had a phone call. And it was one of, now this was interesting. It was one of our clients that we were working with. And I told him, oh yeah, I'm working her position now. And he was like, oh, okay. And he said, well, let me show you what you need to do. Now this is interesting.
A client.
Wow.
Which,
that was the Holy Spirit. Yes. Moved on this person to show me what I needed to do. And because I listened to the Lord and just began to not acknowledge him on a daily basis, I did the job better than what she did when she was in that position. So that's how, one of the reasons why I wrote this program, I developed this program is because I know and have experienced the victory on the job and how you don't have to go to work hating it. You don't have to go to work depressed. You don't have to go to work, all these different things that you may experience, headache, stress. I've been on jobs where I've seen saints, leaving out their jobs with migraines, sick. That's not the will of God.
But you know what I appreciated about what you said is that you brought the Holy Spirit in with you. Yeah. And that was regularly that you had him, you were engaging in conversation of prayer with the Holy Spirit. And that's one of the things I've recently learned is to come in alignment and partnership with the Holy Spirit. I've been saved for little over 30 years, and this is the first time in my life ever that I have partnered with the Holy Spirit. And I didn't know that I could. So thank you all so much for sharing. Do you all have any final words before we close out?
Well, I just want to say this is really great. It's a great opportunity to woman up. You're watching this broadcast. I want you all to be encouraged to go forward and move forward in the things that God is calling you to do, to be able to move to that next place, to that next level where God is calling you to. Run to your destiny and don't look back.
I love it.
Yes, and thank you for the opportunity. This has been a wonderful platform for us to speak on what we're so passionate about. And my advice would be to don't give up. Just keep seeking God and he'll lead you in the right direction. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you both for joining me. And thank you all for joining us in the conversation of womaning up by connecting others to their destiny. As you've heard Karen Jones and Prophetess Coach Toya Garner, this has been amazing, and I am full just listening to them. So this is Desiree Fleming, known as Lady Coach Des. You are watching Coach Des Presents Woman Up Girl Conversations, and we will have more shows coming up. Thank you for taking time to listen, and talk to you the next time.